Oceano Dunes District. My name is Francesca. I'm an Interpreter 1 here at Pismo State Beach. We are so excited to welcome you to our virtual Campfire program tonight. In tonight's program, we are going to be learning about one of my favorite animals that lives just off the coastline here, the southern sea otter. And together we'll learn this species is more than just a cute face. It's an important part of the marine ecosystem. So to get started, let's play some fun trivia warm-up game to get your minds thinking. And for this, I'm going to send it over to my friend Ben.
Hey everyone, my name is Ben. Welcome to Campfire Trivia, where you get to test your campfire and wildlife trivia knowledge. So the way this will work is I'll read these questions to you, and they'll flash big on the screen as well. I'll give you a few moments to shout out your answers, and then I'll flip over the cards to give you the right answers. All right, so first question. What is the California state tree? State tree.
Is it the sycamore tree?
Not the sycamore, super good guess. They live in California as well.
A sequoia.
Ooh, super close. So it is actually the coast redwood tree. They are the tallest trees in the world. They grow up in Northern California mostly. Highly recommend if you can go see them sometime. All right, second question. Bears are A, omnivores, B, carnivores, C, herbivores, or D, vegans?
D, vegans.
No, not vegans. Good guess though. What do you guys think?
A, omnivores.
Omnivores, correct. They are omnivores. So that means they eat both meat and plants, kind of like humans. They eat whatever they can get their hands on. So good guess. Bears. All right. Third and final question. What kind of forests do sea otters live in? Is it A, rainforests, B, kelp forests, C, redwood forests, or D, in coral reefs? What do you guys think?
Coral reefs.
No, not coral reefs. Good guess though. Is actually not that. What do you guys think?
B, kelp forest.
Nice, good guess. It is kelp forests. It's kind of a tricky question, but they live underwater in kelp forests, and Francesca's going to tell you guys all about that in her main program tonight.
Wow, thanks Ben. Trivia is so fun. That was cool to learn about the kelp forest where the sea otters are living, and we will learn more about that today. But before we dive into the program, I have a really fun song I want to share with you all. Not only is it a catchy tune with some groovy, moving sea otters that you can dance along with, but the lyrics are important. So as you sing along with this song, I want you to be thinking about the history of the sea otters, and you'll learn about ways that you can help the otters if you happen to see one right here off the central coast of California. So you ready? Sit back and let's enjoy this song as we all get ready to sing along and do some learning. about how we need to give sea otters space as they float. When we see them out here off the coast of California, we always want to respect their nap. So now that we've had some warm-up activities, we're going to dive right on into the program here to start learning about this incredible animal.
The beloved sea otter is perhaps one of the most iconic animals living in California. But did you know there are over 13 species of otters found worldwide? Here in North America, there are 2 different species of otters, including the sea otter here on the left, which we'll be talking about today, and also the American river otter, which lives in freshwater habitats in creeks and rivers. Within the sea otter species, there are 3 subspecies that live in geographically separate populations. Here in Pismo State Beach along the central coast of California, we have the southern sea otters, also known as the California sea otter. Further up north, we have the northern sea otters, which start up in Washington state, go up through Canada, and along through the Alaska coastline. Then stretching along the Pacific Rim, there is a third population of sea otters known as the Russian sea otters, found off the shores of Russia and into the coast of Japan. While these populations are geographically separate, the main difference between them really just has to do with their size. The sea otters here along the coast of California are a bit smaller than the ones found up in the northern waters where it's much colder. Otters are part of the Mustelidae family, which is a family of carnivorous mammals which includes skunks, weasels, wolverines, and badgers. The sea otter is the largest member of this weasel family, yet it is the smallest marine mammal in North America.
The next thing I want us to start thinking about is how big are the sea otters? I'll give you a hint. This stuffed animal is not to scale, which means this is way tinier than a real life sea otter is. A lot of people think they're cute and tiny little furry animals, but what if I were to tell you sea otters are as big as a German Shepherd dog, which means if they were to stretch out from nose to tail, they would be 4 to 5 feet tall. What I have here with me today, this is a pelt, which is the fur from a real life sea otter. This pelt was donated to us by the Fish and Wildlife officers that we work closely with, and they're scientists that go out and study the otters after they die and collect this so we can use it for teaching. But take a look, isn't that huge?
Now this thick fur is very important for the sea otter's survival. Unlike other marine mammals, the sea otter does not have that thick layer of blubber to help keep it warm in our chilly ocean waters. Instead, it relies on its dense fur. The sea otter is famous for having the densest fur of any animal in the world. It can have up to 1 million hairs per square inch. Us humans, we probably only have about 100,000 hairs on our entire head, and a cat has 600,000 on its entire body. So the fact that a sea otter has 1 million hairs per square inch is an incredible adaptation that really helps it survive. Now, unfortunately, that incredible adaptation to have thick fur is the very thing that made this animal almost become extinct. Humans exploited the sea otter for their fur. In the 1700s and 1800s, hunters and fur traders killed so many sea otters that the population became devastated. Then, in 1911, the International Fur Seal Treaty abruptly halted the fur trade and made commercial harvesting of sea otter pelts illegal. Unfortunately, at this time, though, the sea otter population had become so small that it was even thought to become extinct. Miraculously, though, in 1938, 50 sea otters were found floating off the coast in the kelp beds off of Big Sur. They had survived throughout all of the fur trade. These sea otters became the basis for the entire future generations of all sea otters that we now have here in the Pacific Ocean. Now, more than a century later, the sea otters are making a slow comeback. Back in 1977, sea otters became protected under the Federal Endangered Species Act, and scientists have since been studying and tracking them to help their populations rebound. Sea otters are also protected in international waters under the International Union for the Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, or the IUCN, where they are listed as an endangered species. With all of these conservation efforts legally in place, the sea otter population has begun to increase since these animals became protected, and now here the southern sea otter population averages around 3,000 individuals. However, this population here in California still has a limited range, and their home is close to a lot of busy human activity, so the sea otters are still considered endangered. Taking a look at this map, you can see the yellow areas are where the sea otters currently live, but the areas in red are where their historic range used to stretch through. As the population grows, scientists expect the California sea otters to keep expanding their range to find new areas to live in that have more abundant food sources. So by protecting the entire marine ecosystem and conserving natural kelp forests, we will be helping the sea otter population continue to grow and expand into their historical range. In return, the sea otters are actually a very important part of the marine habitats in which they live, including the kelp forests and estuaries. Otters are known as being a keystone species, which means the health of the sea otters is a good indication for the health of other species in the ecosystems nearby. In the kelp forests, sea otters eat sea urchins and other animals that graze on giant kelp. When the urchin population goes unchecked, when there's no sea otters around to eat them, they create areas known as urchin barrens, where nothing else can live. So without a healthy sea otter population to keep the urchin population in check, the urchins graze upon all of the kelp and the holdfast, and before you know it, the kelp system is destroyed. So research has already proven in areas where sea otters come back and repopulate near kelp forests, marine ecosystems begin to thrive again. But new research out of Monterey County, just to the north of us here, up in an area known as the Elkhorn Slough, has been proving that sea otters are also vitally important for the estuary ecosystems. So scientists have found that in the estuary habitat, otters keep the eelgrass healthy by eating crabs, which in turn allows the sea slug population to thrive. These sea slugs then eat the algae, which would otherwise coat and smother the eelgrass, which the fish need for food and shelter. So in estuaries such as Morro Bay and Elkhorn Slough, where the sea otter populations are becoming well established again, the entire ecosystem begins to start to thrive. So there you have it. These sea otters are more than just a cute face. They are a very important part of both the kelp marine ecosystem and the estuary ecosystems. But these sea otters still need our help. Researchers and scientists will continue to look for ways that we can help protect this species and help them fully recover to be removed from the endangered species list. And you too can help the sea otter. Next time you're at the beach, make sure if you do see wildlife, including sea otters, you give them plenty of space to rest and observe them from a safe distance.
Okay, well thanks so much for joining us here tonight. Again, my name is Francesca and I work here at Pismo State Beach, and I had such a fun time learning with you about the southern sea otter. I hope you take a look out in the waves next time you're at the beach and try and spot a sea otter. So as we wrap up our campfire program here tonight, we do want to end by teaching you about campfire safety. The most important thing you can do when you're gathering around the fire and you're getting ready to go to bed is to make sure you safely extinguish the fire. So to show you how to do this, I have my friend Sarah here with a bucket of water, and we are going to extinguish the flames with cold water. Excellent. So this is important to do both in campgrounds and if you have a bonfire on the beach.
Woo! And always remember, if it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave.
To watch more of our campfire programs, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.